walked out. It's kind of hard to get steady on a deer when you're shaking and your girlfriend's sitting on your knees shaking.
All right. Hey guys, this is what we have tonight, and this is the deal. You got to wear your mask coming through this, and then of course once you sit down, you can take your mask off and eat. And like I've been telling y'all, I'm not gonna be like the mask police, but you guys know about masks. If you need a mask to get through the line, we have disposable masks over there. Please make me have to go buy some more. So anyway, please use it if you don't have masks. If you do have masks, awesome. And this is what we have. We have like a cheese lasagna that's got a meat sauce on it. We got like a meat lovers type lasagna, and we've got some garlic cheese bread. Okay, and there's salad. Christy made salad. And so that's awesome. And so you guys can come up. You can get like you can either get the cheese lasagna, or this is the cheese lasagna, or the meat lovers lasagna. Okay. And then I believe there's going to be enough for seconds, but thank you. I just want to make sure that everybody gets some. And I also got like cookies. Some elf sugar cookies that Jacob's been hitting them like crack. Yes, I said that. He just hit another one. And then there's like 8 slices of pumpkin pie if you're into some pumpkin pie still. And then I've also got ice cream, I think. So some ice cream sandwiches. There is fruit punch. Hey, listen, there's fruit punch, there's lemonade, and there's water. And Crystal, I think, is making some more lemonade and fruit punch. So Hayden, will you pray asking God to bless this food, please? Thank you. Amen. My favorite was the uncomfortable silence.
I don't think he actually thought you were gonna.
Yeah, I don't know either. So, do you want cheese lasagna? Or do you want meat lovers lasagna? Do you want cheese lasagna or meat lovers?
Meat lover.
All right.
Wait, do we have to get lasagna?
Well, I don't have anything else, so I guess you don't have to. If you just want a slice of bread, you can. Here's that, and there's forks, and then there's salad, and let me give you some bread. My hands are clean, I promise. Bread, and there's salad too, and here's this salad over here too. All right, do you want meat or cheese lasagna? Huh? Okay, I'm gonna give you this one. Well, they're both the same, so.
That's a bite size.
Wait, have a salad, please.
Yeah, they're a lot smaller than what I thought. And there's as well, so. All right. And Chris, do you want some bread, man? Oh, he can't. Okay. Okay. That's all right. Forgot about that. Will, do you want cheese lasagna or meat lovers? Do you want bread?
Yes, sir.
Here you go, bud. Joey, Kylie, y'all come get you some. Come get you some. Do you want bread? So weird.
You might have ham. You want ham?
She has ham. You want some ham? There's really no real order to the line. So, do you want cheese lasagna or do you want meat lasagna? All right. This has got a meat sauce to it, but it's mostly cheese. That's a awesome piece. There you go. Awesome. And let me give you some bread, and then she's got salad. All right. Ethan, do you want cheese or meat lasagna?
I want meat lasagna. Thank you for asking.
I didn't know you were in line, sir. My bad.
They didn't have any ranch, by the way.
Okay, that's fine. There's stuff up here.
What was this, my piece?
No, this is Ethan's piece that I've destroyed. Hold up.
That you destroyed.
So
This one right here. That's cheesy.
hang on.
What was that, Richard?
Why don't you shut up? Why don't you Thank you, dear. Oh, and look at that. There's some Olive Garden.
This is Italian.
There you go.
I was told to look for ranch.
There's ranch right there. Was it at
Allison, Lexi, y'all come get some lasagna. Come get some lasagna. Come. Do you want cheese lasagna? Do you want meat lasagna?
I like this
Huh?
lettuce for this is more like spinach.
I can give you a small piece.
I don't like the iceberg lettuce. That's what I'm trying to say. As much as I do this.
Hayden, Parker, come get some. Come get some. So I'm so offended that y'all have already eaten. You broke my heart, Parker. Hayden, you know, I don't care, but
Hey,
you know.
I already ate too.
I mean, I'm you know, come get some, dude. Come get some. This is why I'm starting to like you some more now.
You've got green on your plate.
What you
Let's get another cup.
Okay. Hey, do you want cheese lasagna or meat lasagna?
I'm a vegetarian.
You're a vegetarian.
I was like, well, you're
Do you want me to cut up the other bread?
yes.
You want me to take any of this down and wash?
If I
No.
ever heard a deer hunter telling me that they were vegetarian,
No, I'll take care of that
I'd tell them
tomorrow.
they should quit their job. Imposter.
Sus.
Richard, you are always sus. Every
True.
time.
It's true.
Richard's not even a boss.
That's not true. I've beaten you so many times. It's ridiculous.
Okay, but I'm the best imposter in here. So.
Chris,
I don't know about
Chris just goes, oh, this person's the imposter. What is it? That person's the imposter.
that.
Okay, maybe there's a little more left.
Oh, what the heck?
Get you some.
I wait bits and pieces before playing with you guys on a regular basis. That way you don't catch up.
Jacob goes, raise back
Oh.
on that. What do they do?
I get voted off for no reason.
Yeah.
You're sus. Why?
The only time I get voted off is when Ethan just
Yeah.
no reason at all just gets sus.
Yeah, Ethan was like, I remember like one time we were playing and all of a sudden Ethan goes, no! And I'm like, oh, he just got eliminated by somebody. Yeah, you did. I think everybody's gotten some that's going to get some, but yeah.
There more garlic bread.
No, not for you. You have to have some lasagna if you want some garlic bread. Can I have a salad with some ham on it? Because somebody is you're mean to me. That's what I'm saying. You're just mean to me. You made me cry. You are not eating the lasagna that I cooked. You want some more? You want cheese or meat? Huh? Yeah, that's he wasn't. Yes, please. Oh,
Do you want croutons?
yes. There you go, bud. There you go, bud. Here. Emery, come here. You want some bread?
Yes. I don't want some bread. Is that the last of it?
No, there's like another loaf that Crystal's got.
Give it all to her.
I'm gonna give her the crust.
Still eat salad.
Oh, and just with you, girl, here. The crust, that's where all the butter sits. Here, take that one.
Thank you.
There you go. Grab that one before somebody else.
Bread.
That's your mother's. And there's more bread coming. There's more bread coming. So, oh, look at that.
Love you, Mom.
You want some more? Me. was a little bit nervous about this.
Definitely not a vegetarian.
This time, how I got this was I ordered it through Instacart and it came to my house.
Instacart. Oh, I know what that is.
It came from Harps. I'm so sorry that it turned out like that.
Came to your house?
Yeah, it came to my house.
They drove all the way to your house.
They did. It took like 3 hours for them to come to my house, but they did.
Cheese, please.
You want cheese?
You know your day is going absolutely terrible.
Oh, dude, that was awesome. That just slid right off of there.
You know you're having a bad day.
Thank you. What? No.
That's what you get for not respecting the pouch.
Oh, I respect the pouch, all right.
Not enough apparently.
I just, yeah. You know, disrespect is a form of respect. It's just the opposite of it.
And then you're it never died.
It goes through cycles of popularity.
Yeah, but it's never died.
It really don't.
Minecraft. Yeah. Fortnite, I don't care what people say, Fortnite will die.
Can you really compare them?
Honestly, I thought
No.
They're two different types of games.
Oh, you can compare them. Oh, and I was speedrunning on Xbox, and I got to the Nether in 1 hour. And then, about 30 minutes later, after being in the Nether trying to find the Nether Fortress and never finding it, trying to go back to the portal, I fell to my death. So I wasted an hour and 30 minutes of my life.
I immediately fought the Ender Dragon and won.
The Ender Dragon's really easy.
Yeah, it is.
On a new, how long
It's
did how long did it take you to get there?
not long at all.
Yeah, I tried to keep pushing the dragon as long as possible because I didn't want the to die.
I think the reason is because I'm good at that and I chose to beat him on creative. Brayden. I beat him on creative.
Oh, honestly, on creative, you can beat it so fast.
Yeah. And I had no idea what I was doing when I beat him. I was like, what is this? Oh my gosh.
That what is it? Netherite armor? They don't have it.
Well, there's one left. There we go. Y'all, we got popsicles left. We have popsicles, yeah. There you go. Oh, I don't know what that is. Why are you on this side? You don't ever come on this side. I told you that before.
The latest update I have on 360 is like 2015. Way bad. You said it might have a what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the last update it had those ones.
Do you want cheese or meat?
And
Okay. There you go. And then there's some more bread coming, I believe. There you go.
You know, and well, they had it on 3DS and then they just didn't do anything.
that one, I think if you didn't get it in a certain time frame, or if you didn't have so many hours on Minecraft, I think you could have buy it.
What, on Minecraft?
I think they did 12 that way. They knew that you had to Lane, my buddy Lane was the one. He got like a special taste.
Yeah, grab you a drink. You can have lemonade or fruit punch or water.
I don't have the space on my computer to have my.
He said the cheaper one. I'm like, he said the cheaper one. I go, yeah.
How much memory is Minecraft on the PC?
It's like,
I have it. I should know this, but I don't.
I'm sure it's about maybe 10 gigabytes. Maybe.
I doubt it. Computer games do not require even a quarter of the space that Xbox require.
He said the cheaper one. I'm like,
Fortnite is a memory hog. That might actually be an ice cream in the middle of. I don't really know what it is, but it's like a dreamsicle. Orange like popsicle stuff inside, and then the middle is ice cream. It's not mold. It might be bacteria, but it's not mold. Just kidding.
it's ice. Oh no, that's like a crazy thing.
I always remember she would be headed like one direction and we'd cut across the track like halfway to take out.
Joey, do you play video games? I do. What games do you play? You into Warzone? All right. Yeah. We should play sometime. I'll play Warzone and then I won't play Warzone. Yes. Oh, nice. Very nice. That's very nice.
Ethan, you're just mad because I was a better Ravens than you.
We
And I'm telling you, if you would get the game, and I would teach you.
No, get the game and
What game we talking about?
Caleb will hold your hand and get you fed or you're an unstoppable beast.
What are you talking about?
League of Legos.
Gosh, no.
It's so fun. You just don't understand it.
No, I do understand it.
I've literally seen Caleb make players go.
Joey, have you ever played League?
Like players are absolutely cool with the game ever played.
I'm not.
Caleb is the guy you want to talk to if you want to learn how to play.
Mm-hmm.
I have to teach you to make it basic, and he can absolutely.
Do you play Fortnite any?
Yeah, you're not going to be able to do that anymore because they changed the shop.
Honestly.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
All right.
There's a recommended section, and all you have to do is click on it and buy what you want. It's so much easier to do.
It tells you what items you're going to get to do and that you're planning against in the game.
Excuse me.
It's all Richard.
It's one of those games you take Mobile Legends, bang bang. Except for
That was good leftover ham.
2 lane towers and the tower in the base. It goes 2 lane towers, a tower in the base, and pivoter, then the base, and the base, and then well no, then 2 towers guarding the base, and then
Really?
Mobile Legends is League of Legends, made by the exact same, pretty much. So it's Legends of Runeterra and
Mobile Legends is on.
Oh, yes, it has.
because so it's slime.
I'm not saying you're old, but
No, it is not.
Yes, it is. No, it is.
Hi-Res makes Smite, Riot makes League. Those are not the
Yeah,
same people.
but they work together.
No, they don't.
I have no idea what you're talking
that's
about.
what I do, cooking. Hey, Crystal. This is Jace.
Because listen,
Oh,
He hadn't gone come up here yet.
Okay, you get, those aren't just set, they're,
No.
stuff is based on their mobile.
Yeah.
Neither of
Jacob
those are-
really enjoyed them.
he said, you know, they were those little sugar cookies. I'll remember.
Yeah.
there is a version of Sunny Kong and Mobile Legends. League of Legends.
Do you think it's
Yeah,
okay
and
if he
it's
eats
also
in that room?
Zelda, and every other mobile
Yeah,
game
just as long as he doesn't make a mess.
the Earth.
All right. Yeah, we're great. Hey guys, y'all can continue to eat, and if you're hungry and if you haven't gotten anything, what's wrong with you? Come get some of this. Did y'all enjoy this lasagna? Was it good? Was it good? Good. I handmade it. I layered the pasta. No, I opened up the box from Stouffer's and put it in the oven. Is what I did. So, it's true. That's the extent of my cooking. That's right. I like you, Joey. A couple of things. Tuesday, of course, is our IG Devo. It's on our Instagram page, Southside Students Damascus. If you're not following it, you should go follow it. Winter camp is December 27th through the 30th, I believe. If you haven't registered and you want to go, you need to register. You can go to coldspringscamp.com/winter-camp, or just do Cold Springs, Arkansas Google search, and you'll be able to find it from there. It's $50. If money is an issue, we don't want money to be an issue. Just mom, dad, come talk to me. It is limited. It's 40 guys and 40 girls. Okay. Right now we're at 21 total, so there's still some room, but I haven't checked what the numbers are for this week. That could be about 30 is what it could be. Now, this is what I want. Those of you that have gone to winter camp, why should somebody that's never been to winter camp, why should they go?
It makes some new friends.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
It's not hot. Yeah.
It's really fun.
It's a lot of fun. What are some?
It's not as bad.
It's not as packed. Yeah, you do get to sing campfire songs. Hey, what? But give specific things. What are some things that we do at winter camp? What are some things we do, like camp songs? You said, right? What are some other things that we do at winter camp?
Don't go swimming.
We don't go swimming. We play Gaga Ball. Of course, we learn about God, right? Last year we had a worship band. I can't remember. 501 Collective, I think, is what their name was. This year it is. I think it's former staffers that have come together and kind of decided, hey, let's be a band this year for winter camp. With winter camp, with the pandemic and everything, there's been a lot of things that have been robbed, or taken from us. Things like, we didn't get to do summer camp. Just as an example, a lot of things happened because of the pandemic. Well, of course, the pandemic is still happening, but we're finding creative ways of getting together. And there'll be things like you have to wear a mask, which FYI, if you have your Southside students Cooley, you can wear that. Hello. And if you lost it, I might be able to hook you up with another one. That's right there. That'll work. Make them bigger. I could try. So, and if you don't have one, come talk to me. I got the hookup. And so, you know, if your parents are concerned about you staying the night, because, yeah, I do get that, because you're sleeping in a confined space with a group of people that you may not know. I don't think anybody's going to be wearing a mask while they sleep. And so I do understand that concern. Do what? And so, and like some people snore, but we won't say who. We won't say who. We are not saying who, because remember, what goes around comes around. Okay.
I didn't say a single word.
No, you didn't. You didn't, Will. Will, calm down. Will, calm down. Everybody, group hug Will. No, can't do that. Anyway, I appreciate you not pointing at me because you have three. I do, so shut up. Anyway. I'm just kidding. But I do snore. I do apologize. But you've been warned. But listen, getting back to what I was saying. So I realize the big thing that I understand is that not everybody, and you guys know this, not everybody handles this pandemic the same way. You have those that are super cautious. And you have those that are super like, I'll lick the floor full of COVID. I don't really care. Okay. Just as an example, you know? So, but this is what I've been saying to y'all. I don't want you staying the night and, you know, with the whole, I don't want that to be the reason why you don't come. I would love for you to come, and you can stay as late as you want. You can stay until 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night. That's going to be fine with me. If you want to go home, then you can go. I'm fine with you going home. I just need to know so that way I can make sure that like I connect with your parent. Now, you would be responsible for coming back. And if you come back, you know, for me personally, I don't care what time you come back as long as you come back. But if you don't come back, just know that you're responsible for the $50 for camp. So if you're concerned about, you know, having to spend the night, let me be very clear. You do not have to spend the night. Okay. And if anybody has an issue of it, you tell them to come talk to me, and I'll be like, well, deal with it. Okay. Winter camp is like 2 days. So it's like December 27th through 30th. It'll be it's a which I realize is, I think, like a Sunday evening. So that's weird. And we come home on a Wednesday. Yeah. And so, which is really weird. But anyway, Emery, yes. You have to wear masks where you're supposed to wear masks. That's all I know. Like you're supposed to, yeah, I dare say when you're in the dorm, you don't have to wear the mask because that would be like your house. Would you wear a mask? Now, having said that, there is a good, y'all listen to me very carefully because I want to be very clear and make sure everybody understands it. When we go stay in the dorm, it's not just going to be Southside students staying in the dorm and nobody else. It'll be Southside students or Mount Vernon students. It'll be Southside students or Catton Ridge students. It'll be Southside students or Victory student. Okay. And so there is a very good chance that there will be other groups in the dorm with you. Okay. I would love for us to be able to have our own dorm, but I don't think that's going to happen. Okay. So I know. There's no fight night that can happen, right? Yes.
What church does Barry?
He's Mount Vernon.
Mount Vernon? Yeah, I want Mount Vernon.
So that'd be great if we reunited with Mount Vernon. It'd be a lot of fun. Anyway, so that's going to be December 27th to 30th. I would love for y'all to go. This is a great time, a great opportunity. Ryan Scanley, he's the guy that's responsible over like college campuses of UCA, CBC, and Hendrix. He's like the campus pastor of those three schools. He is going to be the speaker, and he is just awesome. You guys know Ryan. If you've been to the Attorney House, he usually speaks at the Attorney House. He's a great guy. Love the guy. He's awesome. He does a podcast. If you're in a podcast, it's called Lead Defend. You should check him out with my other friend, Seth Tucker. It is going to be a great time. So if you want to go, please come talk to me and we can get that going for you, okay? I am willing to do whatever it takes for you to get to go. Do y'all understand that? Whatever it takes for y'all to get to go. Do what? Yeah. If they're standing still asleep, but yeah. Nerf gun. Gotcha. So anyway, all right, and one more thing. Be looking very soon for a big announcement regarding our Christmas party.
Oh, yeah. We did this last time we had a Christmas.
Are you coming out with winter calendar soon?
No. I will come out with the winter calendar in January. And that'll cover January, February, March. But I have been looking and devising a couple of plans for our Christmas party. With the, once again, pandemic causes us to think of creative ways of doing awesome things. And so I am very excited about a couple of possibilities that I have cooked up, and you guys will know about it soon. All right. So I know that sounds sus, but you will know it soon. Anyway, so you guys have any questions? 11. I was number 11 from our church.
Can we see?
Does that include adults?
Yeah.
Are you going?
No, wait, do we
We're
know?
making up half.
There are 9 students that have registered. I think it's 6 boys and 3 girls.
Who are they that have registered?
I know Ethan's registered. I think Hayden's registered. You've registered.
Yeah, me and Will have.
Will have.
I keep telling them to do it, but she won't do it.
Oh, you better hurry.
I'm trying.
I'm not sure if you've registered yet or not. I think you have.
Richard, I keep asking.
I don't know.
She just won't do it.
I haven't. Well,
She just doesn't get around to it.
well, you could ask her. You could do it and save her some time, help her out, be a good son.
I don't know.
I have love for you, Brandon. Sorry.
I don't like doing that.
Anyway, one other thing is I forgot what I was going to say. We're going to be starting a new Devo. Hey y'all, we're going to be starting a new Devo. I would like very much for you, especially those of you that have been coming regularly to our discipleship class, I really want you guys to be a part of it. It will have a Christmas theme to it. So you'll find out more about that on Tuesday. And guys, I just want to encourage you guys, be a part of the IG Devo, whether you watch it when it premieres at 7 or you watch it later on. I just want to encourage you guys to watch it. And I see that many people are watching it. I see, we get like 12 views, or I think one we have like 34 views on. So guys, I want to encourage you guys, watch it. Let's really make this a thing that we do together. The more things that we can do together, especially during this time, the stronger we are, okay? And we need each other now more than ever. Having said that, I'm going to show you something completely opposite of what I just said. Because we've been talking for a couple of weeks. We've been talking about canceled. We've been talking about, we talked about envy, and we talked about, those sorts of things. And last week we talked about our rights and how, in a way, our rights are getting canceled, and how do we respond to that? Well, let's talk about we're gonna spend some time talking about another way that sometimes people end up getting canceled. But I wanted to start off, and I do apologize for those of you in the back. It's going to be on my tablet, but here's a video clip I want y'all to see. Yep. Here you go. Shh. Can y'all still see it like that? All right, so here he is. He gets in a fight. That's from Night at Museum. That's one of my favorite movies. And like this monkey, and it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And so I just want to show that to you guys. Talking about, and that's a really good movie. I really like it. Robin Williams is in it. He's one of my favorite guys. But anyway, we've talked about lots of different things. And we talked about like social media as well. But let me ask you this. Do you follow any famous people online? Who do you follow? Will? Mr. Beast, all right. All right. Who do you follow, Emery? Okay. All right. All right. David Spade. Okay. Joey. Say it again. PewDiePie. All right. Anybody follow like Ninja or Tfue or Booga? Anybody follow Booga? He's a gamer. He won the Fortnite Cup like a couple years ago. Yeah. What about anybody follow Jake Paul or Logan Paul? I did see. Yeah. Let me ask you this. Are there any people that you hate follow? Like you follow them because you hate them? James. All right. Who else? Anybody else follow somebody simply because they always kind of make you cringe? Who do you follow that makes you cringe? Addison Rae? Oh gosh. Like, does anybody follow the Kardashians because they're so cringeworthy? No. Apparently enough people do. Let me ask you this, because we're talking about hate tonight. And let me ask you, I guess you can say it. This should be interesting. Who is one famous person you love, hate? Like you look forward to, you just love the fact that you don't like them. Like you can't stand them with a passion. Do what? LeBron James? Why LeBron James?
Because he's not as good as he thinks he is.
He's not as good as he thinks he is. All right.
Yeah, he has like 6 rings, 7 rings now. But
What?
those are all because he had. He
Yeah.
only after one this year of 80.
Okay. All right. Hayden, why do you not like LeBron James? He's overrated. All right. All right. Lexi, do you follow anybody simply because you hate them so much that you just want to like every? Not really. Okay, that's good. Good. Why do you think people sometimes love to hate each other? Why do you think that that's a thing? Like, why is it that people always hate? Like, and they have they look forward to it. Like, they look forward to hating somebody, and they'll follow them simply because they hate them. They follow them simply think that and they just want more fuel. Like, why do you think that is? It causes drama. Do you have any friend in your life? Do you have any friend in your life that is they can be a drama freak. It like gives them a weird sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a weird sort of charge. Like they love it. Like it just fires them up. Like you start talking about them, they start getting fired up about it, And it's kind of a sad thing. Do what? But and think about this. Whether it's online, whether it's, you even have that one family member that you love to hate them. Like before, you'll cry at their funeral, but you will not go on vacation with them. And the thing about it, whether it's online, whether it's in our families, hey y'all, or in our circle of friends, there's never like the shortage of people that we kind of love to hate, especially when we feel that there's a good reason for that hatred. Maybe it's because somebody hurt us, and so we cancel them. We love to hate them. We talk poorly about them. We dehumanize them. We take revenge on them. We just do these things simply because maybe something happened at one point in our lives to where they hurt us in such a way that became the relationship. That out of that injury, out of that wound, that became a love to hate. There was this girl that I had dated for a long time, for like a couple of years, and we broke up. Went to college. We ended up going to Washita together. And we didn't really speak to each other at all. We would, then we would talk for a little bit, and then we'd stop talking, and then all of a sudden I started dating Crystal. And the more we were dating, this friend that was an ex-girlfriend of mine, wanted to know every single thing that was going on in my life with her, and wanted to know, and it was the weirdest, most awkward, most uncomfortable thing. And finally I said, hey, you've got to stop this. And she was ugly, and she was very hateful to me, and she cut me with something that she said to me. Not physically cut. No, but what she said, and you might not think it was a big deal, but what she said to me was, well, you need to examine your walk with Christ. Because she was telling me that was absolute perfect time. I love that because you said that, and then Parker goes, "Oh!" It was awesome. But so listen. So you might, and that might not sound, well, that's not really a big deal. But in that moment, it was a super big thing because she had no right. I felt she had no right to say that simply because of our history together. And she said something that and she wasn't saying it out of concern. She was saying that because she was angry. She was jealous. She was all of these things. And she said that to me. And I said, that's it. And for years, long after we got married, I had a real hurtful feeling about her. Like, I loved to hate her. Like, I would get happy when I hear about something that she was going through that wasn't a great thing. And I regret that. I mean, I've forgiven her and I've moved on, and we became, everything is okay. But it was super hurtful. And out of that moment, I wanted to cancel her. And I looked forward to hearing about her. And I looked forward to hearing about her going through hard times, because it just felt like this is what you get. And I think in a lot of ways for us, and it's complicated, right? Because we're called to love and to forgive people, but there comes where somebody hurts us, does something, when we feel hurt, we want to stick up for ourselves. And we want people accountable for their actions. But God, this is the thing though, is that God also calls us to forgive. God calls us to forgive and to show grace rather than seek revenge. Now, we'll talk more about this in a minute. It doesn't mean we just roll over and tell the person, hit me again, and put some stank on it. We don't do that. But we're called to show love and to show forgiveness. And so let me ask you this. How do we balance, and this is for you to think about as we kind of go through this tonight, how do we balance accountability with grace and forgiveness? Does forgiving someone mean pretending like the hurt never happened? When do we need to seek justice, and when do we need to just let something go? And those are very hard questions, and I'm telling you, I'm not perfect with it. There's still grudges that I deal with it. But this is what I do know, is that we need to give the things, everything, good and the bad. We need to lay them down at the feet of Jesus. Let me ask you this. Do you ever think it is ever a legitimate reason to hate someone? Why? Depends on what they do. Okay. True. What else? Someone else. Is it ever? Do you think that there's ever a legitimate reason to hate someone?
I try to say this in the least churchiest way, but I mean, there's a lot of reasons why God can easily hate us.
Yeah.
We fail Him pretty much every single day, 24/7. I mean, we always sin,
Yeah.
And but He chooses to continue to love us, so that gives us no reason to hate Him.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. I want you to think about a fight you got into recently. Maybe it more than likely just a fight you had with your brother or your sister. What caused it? Maybe it was a fight with your cousin because they're always pestering you all the time. I didn't even say anything to you, dude. I was looking at Will when I said that, man. No, I'm just actually looking at Hayden. But think about it. Like, what caused the fight? And it's probably, yeah. And the thing of it is it's not necessarily, a lot of times when you think about a fight, we think of like, punches, right? Going like, for instance, I was kind of looking for, before I found that one, I was looking at different fighting videos. I was like, oh, I could use that. And then I was like, oh, I can't use that. Because there's a lot of anger that happens in when we fight, right? But it's not all the time about it with our fists. Sometimes it's our words, sometimes it's with other things. But a lot of times it's because of something that is based in a misunderstanding. What did you, for that fight that you had recently, what did you do or say to keep the fight going instead of resolving it? Usually it's probably, because this is the thing, we know how to push people's buttons to keep them going, right? We know how to make people keep being angry, right? And in those moments when we're mad at somebody and we're fighting, a lot of times those filters of like what we should and should not do, those things we know will set off, we tend to shut them down just because we're such in an emotional state of anger and of upsetness that we choose to keep that fire going. And that's not that, and that there lies the problem with a lot of times when we have, especially when we hate somebody, is that it causes us to do what we would not have a desire to do normally. You don't wake up in the morning and say, how can I irritate the fire out of so-and-so? How can I just make this person feel the worst? We don't wake up doing that, but in those moments when we let our emotions control our actions, it causes damage in that relationship, especially if that relationship is not really a friendship to begin with. But it also causes damage in our relationship with ourselves, but more so with God. Open up your Bibles to 1 Samuel chapter 24, and I'm going to read this to you. 1 Samuel chapter 24. In fact, I'm going to open up. And I realize we're going just a little bit over time, but it'll be okay. First Samuel chapter 24, and I want you to read along with me. I'm reading from the Christian Standard Bible. This is what it says in 1 Samuel 24. When Saul returned from pursuing the Philistines, he was told, David is in the wilderness near En-Gedi. So Saul took 3,000 of Israel's fit young men and went to look for David and his men in front of the rocks of the wild goats. When Saul came to the sheep pens along the road, a cave was there, and he went in to relieve himself. David and his men were staying in the recesses of the cave, so they said to him, look, this is the day the Lord told you about. I will hand your enemy over to you so you can do to him whatever you desire. Then David got up secretly and cut off the corner of Saul's robe. Afterward, David's conscience bothered him because he had cut off a corner of Saul's robe. He said to his men, I swear before the Lord, I would never do such a thing to my Lord, the Lord's anointed. I will never lift my hand against him since he is the Lord's anointed. And with these words, David persuaded his men, and he did not let them rise up against Saul. Then Saul left the cave and went on his way. Now, just kind of a couple things about this, okay? Saul was the king of Israel, right? And David had been chosen by God to be the next king. He says, Saul, and David I have chosen. Saul liked David at first, but he eventually became incredibly envious of David, especially as people drew more and more attention to him and his realization that David was going to be the king of God, and that David was God's anointed, no longer was it Saul. And because of this envy, like we talked about a week or so ago, because of this, Saul tries to kill, like David is straight up playing a harp, trying to just kind of, chill out Saul in the throne room. And Saul, it says in the scripture that an evil spirit gets into Saul. The dude picks up a spear and chucks it at David. Fortunately, he misses. But David ends up fleeing, and it starts this really hostile relationship because Saul is envious of David. And so he tries to kill him repeatedly, multiple times. So you would think on the offset, yeah, this guy's a dude that David has every reason to hate, right? Because the guy's trying to kill him. He's trying to do all these things to him. So yeah. But here's the thing, okay? We read in this passage, and yeah, let's just go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room. Yeah, the bathroom thing is funny. The fact that Saul goes in to relieve himself, that's kind of funny, okay? Like that's something you don't really read about in scripture, like, and so it's here. It's like, hey, this is what happens. But second, not only did David, who had this opportunity to kill Saul, not only did David Saul, he didn't even hurt him, but he got caught up in the emotions of the moment, and he cuts off a piece of the robe. And this is what I love about David, when he realizes that he's done wrong, he desires to change. He cuts off a piece of the robe, but felt remorseful about it and let Saul in peace. And this is the really cool thing. I mean, yeah, David did that, but he could have killed Saul, but he didn't. He chose to let Saul go, in spite of Saul's actions. And that doesn't mean that David suddenly liked Saul or that everything was okay. In fact, everything's not okay. You know, he still is on the run from his life. He's still having to do all these things. But David showed love instead of hate by showing mercy to Saul instead of revenge. They didn't exactly reconcile. The best that they could do was promise to stay away from each other, and they do just that. This is the last time that you read David interacting with Saul. And they never saw each other again. Now, it's, of course, a different time, and it's a different culture. It's two powerful men and people like you and me who definitely don't rule nations or command armies. This is also the story of two adults. They're not teenagers. So, you know, let's just, the moral of the story is not to be nice to someone who's abusive. That's not the moral of the story. It's not to add, it's to not ask for, it's not to not ask for help when you're in danger. And it is not to not seek justice when someone has harmed you. You need to be very clear with that. And if you are in a position now, or if you have ever been in a position in the past where someone, an adult or someone, is harming you, you need to tell somebody. Okay? Let's be perfectly clear with that. It is not okay if they are physically harming you, if they are abusing you, doing things to you that you are not, that's not okay. And if that's happening, you need to come talk to somebody. You can come talk to me. You can come talk to Christy. You can come talk. You can come talk to Crystal. You can come talk to any adult here at this church and talk to Brother Steve, or like I said, you come talk to me, and we need to get that dealt with. But God doesn't tell us to put ourselves in harm's way to endure, induce, or violence. God doesn't go in front of the firing line, okay? He doesn't say that. It doesn't honor God when you allow yourself to be hurt, when you allow yourself to be mistreated. God loves you. God sees you. And it's put adults in this room in your life to help protect you. Does everybody understand that? Got it? So if you're dealing with something that is abusive or anything like that, come talk to us. So if the lesson that if that's not the lesson that we should seek from the story, you know, what is? If it's you know, it's helpful when reading the Old Testament stories, look at the words that Jesus says, okay? So check out Matthew chapter 5. Open up your Bibles to Matthew chapter 5, and we're going to be reading 38 to 45. And just for a sec, I'll just read it for the sake of time. You've heard that it was said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I tell you, don't resist an evildoer. On the contrary, if anyone slaps you on your right cheek, turn the other to him also. As for the one who wants to sue you and take away your shirt, let him have your coat as well. And if anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go with him 2. Give to the one who asks you, and don't turn away from the one who wants to borrow from you. You've heard it said, love your enemies and love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, so that you may be children of your Father in heaven. For he causes his sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. Now, Jesus often would flip the script when he was teaching somebody. He would say, you've heard it said this way, but look, I'm telling you, it's actually this. You know, he kind of just turns things around from what they previously understood, especially, you know, about, you know, compare with how the world views things and how God views things. Instead of telling his audience to love those who love them and hate those who hate them, which is what the world teaches, which is what everybody else, you know, teaches, hate those who hate you, love those who love you. Jesus instead challenges them to love your enemies. To not hate them, but to love them. And although David lived many years before Jesus spoke these words, David understood in that moment what it meant to love your enemy. And his decision to show Saul love instead of vengeance points to Jesus, points to Jesus, his challenge over us to do this, to love the people we want to hate. And I realize that's hard. Now, I want to ask you guys a couple questions. None of us are currently being chased by a king, right? That's jealous. Nobody's being chased by some dude named Saul or Bill or Carl. Nobody's being chased, right? Allison, you're not being chased by some creeper named Carl or Hayden or, okay. But think about this. Who, and you don't necessarily have to be better for you to think kind of internally, but who are your enemies? Who are the people that you don't like and that they don't like you? Because as much as I'd love to be like, yeah, we all love everybody, and we don't. The truth of it is that there are people that we hate. Maybe it's a political leader that you hate. Maybe it's a political party that you don't like, or people that are a part of that. Maybe for you, it's people that you just purposely hate on Instagram because they hate you, and so you hate them back. Who might your enemy be? Maybe it's that teacher that's always like tearing into you. Or coach, yeah. Now let me say this. David and Saul, they eventually decided to never see each other again. And so let me ask you this. When do you think that that's the wise thing to do with your enemies, and when is it not? When do you think it's the right time to say, I don't need to be around you at all, and when is it not?
The right time for deciding not to be around him when something serious happens, almost happens, like a big fight or something.
It's true. Maybe sometimes it's in those moments really angry, the hardest thing for you to do, walk away from that. And when someone hurts you, do you think it's possible to forgive them and hold them accountable for their actions at the same time? Is it possible to forgive somebody and yet still hold them accountable? That I can tell you is yes. It is possible to forgive someone and yet still hold them accountable to their actions. There's a song by Matthew West, and it's called Forgiveness. And it's written based on the story of this lady, and I think I shared this with you guys before on a Wednesday night, but it's about this lady who, her daughter is killed in a car accident. In the course of the story, talks about the forgiveness that she does. It doesn't, and the thing of it about that is, it wasn't like she just wall up over the incident. She still wanted him to be held accountable, but she wanted him to have experience and freedom. And so she held them to do the right thing. She held them to, she didn't just say everything, but she also fought to make everything for him to work out. It's this amazing, powerful song. But that's the thing, is that just because we can forgive somebody doesn't mean that what they do is okay. It is not okay for somebody to backstab you. It's not okay for somebody to lie to your face. It's not okay for somebody to hurt you or to wrong you. You need to hold them accountable. But the thing that happens is when we forgive somebody, it actually benefits us. It actually makes us, it heals us. And so you can forgive and hold someone accountable. That's loving someone. That's turning the other cheek. A lot of times that phrase turning the other cheek is like, people don't really get that. Jesus didn't mean like never stand up for yourself or let people walk all over you. He had no problem verbally defending himself. Jesus often got angry. Hello, turning the tables over in the temple. Calling people, you are a brood of vipers. That calling Herod a fox because he's sneaky and conniving. But Jesus never sought revenge. In fact, think about the moment when he was being betrayed. Jesus is about to be betrayed. Peter whips out a sword, chops off a dude's ear. And Jesus doesn't say, yeah, it's about to go down. He doesn't say that. He looks at Peter and says, what are you doing? Don't you realize that if it's not my time, God's going to take care of these people? And he heals the dude that came to get him. He heals him. He heals his. That's what Jesus did. Jesus never sought revenge. He never was cruel to anyone. He never escalated a conflict because his pride was wounded. I think what he means when he says turn the other cheek, when someone attacks or hurts or lashes out at you, don't be overcome by anger. Don't plot your revenge. Don't escalate the situation. Don't make it worse. Don't react without thinking. Respond wisely instead. And sometimes that means that you have to walk away from the situation. Sometimes that means you physically have got to get away from the situation. It might mean that you need to turn your phone off. It might mean that you need to get the phone out of your room. It might mean you just need to breathe and count to 10. But I do know this, when you respond out of anger and when you respond because of this hatred, because of whatever, you only hurt yourself. Many people think that Jesus was only this kind, this gentle, this peace-loving man, but he was also. Jesus upset both religious and political leaders of the day. They wanted him dead. And his enemies would often try to provoke, trap him. They would say things, ask questions purposely to trip him. And Jesus knew that, and Jesus avoided it every single time. Now, imagine you're angry, all right? Please don't act out angry right now, but imagine you want to punch them in the face. Please don't punch anybody in the face here, okay? I'm just saying. I'm not. That's right. Don't punch anybody. Don't punch Will, okay? So he punches. Anyway, but imagine that you're angry. Imagine that you're wanting to punch somebody in the face. Imagine that you're looking for the fight, but then something strange happens. You punch them, and they don't hit back. Instead, they take a deep breath. They raise their hands. They look you straight in the eyes and turn their head, giving you the perfect shot to punch them again. And here's what I would hope that you would do in this moment. Stop and consider what you've just done. Realize you can't hit them again because you'd clearly become the bad guy. Calm down. Feel ashamed and walk away. That's power, love, of self-control instead of revenge. When we react in anger or seek revenge, we just escalate. We make things worse. We make things even worse than what they once were. It makes it more difficult for the person who's hurt us to come to terms with what they did. And think about that. When you're ugly and when you're angry at somebody, you're not so when you've done. More than likely, that person is the same way when they're in that same emotional state that you're in. Be the better person. When Jesus said to turn the other cheek, He wasn't telling us to get over it. He was telling us to strategically choose to love instead of hatred, because it is love that changes things. So we're going to pray, and this before I pray out loud, I want you to pray quietly, and I want you to go ahead and bow your head, close your eyes. All right. Earlier, I asked a question about hating somebody. And I started naming things, and those people that you have an issue with fired up in your eyes, the eyes of your mind. This is what I want you to do. I want you to pray. Think about who you're tempted to hate. Think about who's hurt you. Think about how you can stop the back and forth, or how you can just overcome that hatred. We have to pray like those who've hurt us or who are hurting others. And what I want you to do is I want you to ask God, what are some things you can do this week to where that person or whatever that you have a hate with or hate for or hate of because of whatever. I want you to ask God to help you forgive them. To help you love them the way that Jesus loves you. And to ask God for your help, for his help, because you can't do it alone. Will you pray that right now, please? Father, in the quietness of this time, Lord, through this conversation we had tonight, you have an issue with people that we have a problem with, people that we hate, because they've hurt us, because they've wronged us, because of whatever the reason is, Father. Maybe just because they don't act the same way we do. Father, I'm reminded about how you love us. Despite what we've done, despite who we are, despite sin, Father, you love us, and you sent your Son to die for us, and you call us to reflect that love in everybody, to everybody. And so, Father, I pray for the people that we have a hard time, the people that we are struggling to love. Father, I pray that this is the week that we start to build a bridge, that we forgive them. And Father, in instances where they have done something wrong, that we hold them accountable, but we make an effort to build the bridge. And Father, in those moments when we're dealing with the person that we have a hard time with, and instead of reacting in anger and reacting and pushing the buttons that we know to push to get them riled up to where we're fighting, I pray that you give us the boldness and the wisdom and the strength to walk away. Father, I pray that we begin to love and hate less. And it's in your name I pray. Amen. Y'all, thank you so much. I realize it's 8:24. You're welcome to hang out as long as you want. If you want some more stuff, please come get it. There is pumpkin pie. There is cookies. There is bread right here. So, guys, thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us on YouTube, whether you're joining us now or later.